Hey, there's God here, and it's time to talk about Blue Lock. But before we get into the episode, I have to say, today I've been super tired. You know that feeling when you get some sleep, but not enough sleep, but which makes it worse if you didn't sleep at all. That middle way where you're feeling very drowsy, not enough energy. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, to relate this to Blue Lock, I watched the episode and I completely forgot I was tired. I got so hyped up, grinning, smiling, enjoying, not blinking, especially at that moment. And I really like how they're just hyping you up so much with each episode. And I just wish I had the next one with each episode. Please give me the next one. I'm so jealous of people that are gonna be able to binge watch this series. Imagine seeing this moment we had in this episode with Isagi, then being able to press play instantly. And I really like how they're handling Isagi's rebirth, or him being reborn, the birth of this new monster that we have here. Again, a very hyped episode, so let's get into it and talk about it. Now, it picks up straight from the match before with Isagi versus Nico, their similarities, how they are very similar in the way they handle soccer, and them still trying that swapping technique with each of them getting 10 minutes to use their weapons, and more you see how Isagi starts discovering himself and changing, becoming somebody new, a rebirth of sorts. And we have Isagi versus Nico. Even skips his own turn to still stay on that strategy to focus on Nico there. And we found out that Ego gave the same speech to everybody, which was kind of implied, to say the least. But it's nice to see how Ego is playing all of them, doing the same tricks. And I like what he did this episode, and we're gonna get that towards the end of the video. Now we see that Nico also, seeing that they have the same sort of weapons and them discovering kind of very similar in the way they've got into this situation, always comparing themselves to others, not being able to keep up with them, and having to find their own way to keep on fighting there. And we see that the eyes to view other players and the brains to coordinate all of them, that one being Nico. But I feel like Isagi is way ahead of what Nico has there to say the least, but it's not instantly known, especially to Isagi. And we see Nico still being in control at the beginning of their fight, pushing them, controlling the match, even after Isagi figured out that Nico's behind everything, which I liked that. And Nico tries his last resort with Okawa and the entire team going for the counter-attack, one-time kill counter. He basically baited Isagi and the entire team Z for this one last move. Now, you see the frustration, how frustrated Isagi was, everything he's been through, everything that happened, his own complex that he has, how he views himself compared to others. He doesn't want to lose, especially like this, not doing anything. And this is what triggers him, this kind of awakens him in a way, with Nico, them pushing forward, even deceiving the defense, passing to Okawa. Everybody thought everything was over. Of course, we knew. I still like obvious things like this. It doesn't matter how obvious it is. This is a hype series. You get excited about it. This is not your plot twist, turns, and whatever kind of series. This is something just to get you hyped, and it delivers. It more than delivers, at least for me, on that front. Now we have the last pass there. Nico passes to Okawa, but it gets intercepted by Isagi. And I was like, holy fuck, he's there. He did it. I knew he was gonna do it, but it's still nice to see it with him smelling a goal, that there is going to be a goal. Even though they think the same, Isagi is finally able to pass his trauma or his own blockage, so to say, even telling Nico, you're unfit to be a striker. And remembering his own pass in the first match we had in the first episode, the pass he did to Kunigami also, and dropping, shedding his previous self, saying, I don't need that version of myself. Now is the time to be reborn. And oof, I got goosebumps after that moment there. You see everybody just working together. It's like he took control. The atmosphere just instantly changed after that moment. Everybody started working. He became the one that everything revolved around him, and we're gonna talk more about that. See Kunigami passing to Bachira. Bachira tried or used Gin, so to say, for that he actually went for it. I really like Gin, how straightforward he is. He needs some more love. I think people need to appreciate Gin a lot more. He actually thought that pass was for him, but Bachira passed to number 11, being Isagi. He ran all the way there again. Score it, you egoist, in Bachira's words, and I am a striker. Isagi finally getting past that blockage, which I know I said he's probably not a striker, but I feel like he's gonna become one or something, I don't know, more. We know he's probably gonna be the hero or what Ego's trying to achieve here, especially using his skill, and we're gonna talk more, especially with Chigiri, which helped him quite a lot in this episode. But that moment was just, holy fuck, that shot. Like, the animation there, the still frames, the colors. I really like this dark blue, especially my theme everywhere I use that. Just, oh, I like that that moment so much, and that shot looked so good and satisfying. But this wasn't the best moment for me. The best moment for me was after he scored the goal, which was epic. He realized what he did. Not only did he score, and he did very good, but he crushed the dreams of all of the other people of Team Y there. You see all of them on the field, especially Nico was bawling, crying his eyes out, very similar to what Isagi has been through. And you see Ego just watching that and liking it, realizing what's happening. And the moment, even when Isagi said it, I kinda like it, I like it. So the birth of a monster just happened. This is probably just the beginning of the transformation that Isagi is going through. Of course, he has a lot of work through, but this was the moment that the monster has been born, and I'm here for it. I can't wait to see more. This is probably the hypest episode we have had so far, and I really hope people stuck with the season. I'm sure the source material readers have and knew this moment was coming, but I'm really curious what the anime onlys have thought so far about the series, and especially this moment. I know the episode isn't over, but I feel like this has been the most important moment in the series. Not the goal, but the realization of what happened after the goal and how it transformed, or Isagi got reborn here. So this was pretty much the hype part of the episode. After that it toned down a bit, which I liked quite a lot. Don't get me wrong, you can't always stay on that high. At some point you have to calm down, and stuff, it's also very important, not just the high stuff. You see them celebrating after that with food, sharing, all of them playing around there, having fun, actually becoming a team, bonding a bit, but all of them being curious, especially how did you know Isagi? And Isagi still doesn't know how he was doing that, how he knew to be there, just saying he took a chance there. The Bachira was trying to feed him like a baby or some bromance, you never know. I really like Bachira. But yeah, Isagi still has a long way ahead of him before he gets there, and we're gonna talk more about his moment with Chigiri also. Now, I really like Kunigami being the first one to acknowledge Isagi even more after their moment when they actually became more than just acquaintances, becoming friends. Of course, Raichi being Raichi is gonna take a long while before he recognizes or acknowledges Isagi there. And you see Chigiri being still deep in thought, and we're gonna get to him there. Now, after that, Isagi still couldn't say Igarashi, being Igarashi with his weird sleep positions, but he was still amped up from what happened. He doesn't even recognize himself, thinking, am I a jerk? Are we the baddies? And yes, Isagi, you kinda are, but hey, if you're gonna win, somebody has to lose, and there's no way around that. You can't only have winners, especially in a place like this. And he goes to watch the recordings of the match, and Chigiri is also there doing the same thing. That moment changed everybody, not just Isagi, which Isagi got changed the most, but it affected everybody there. And we finally have the conversation we have been waiting, or at least I have been waiting, especially with Chigiri, and even him saying, "I'll always remember this goal," and it changed him. And him coming here to Blue Lock, he wouldn't have done anything without Blue Lock here. Now, thanks to Isagi, you kind of get some exposition as to, or telling what his power is. Has this keen spatial awareness. Still makes me think of Awahashi. We're seeing everything from above, with how majority of players have this limited vision when they're dribbling, when they're running, and it gets narrower and narrower the faster they go. But Isagi has these moments like a god from above, and I really like that scene when they showed him above the entire field, seeing everything there. And that's your smell, how you smell a goal. So you have to learn it, work on it, and perfect it. Use it intentionally, not the way you are doing it now, just on instinct. It randomly activated. Now, we finally get some insight with how Isagi's power works. I had my suspicions, which is along these lines, but I'm curious how they're gonna expand on it, gonna get more details. Can he upgrade it? Of course, that's probably gonna come along with more episode, but this is basically the first step that Isagi needed. Now, what I'm curious also about, not just Isagi, we finally have Chigiri. He still didn't want to say anything about his weapon. We still haven't found his weapon, but we got the reason as to why exactly he doesn't want to talk about it. Isagi pushing him a bit, and he revealed he tore his ACL on his knee, an injury there, and now saying he used to have a weapon, which you still don't know what, but he's afraid to get injured again because he won't be able to play if he does. So he has this fear that's holding him back. Even though he's healed, you can't get really past that. You're gonna hold yourself back without even wanting, and that's very understandable. I have something similar on my hand. Of course, I'm a fat dude on the internet. I'm not a soccer player, but at least I understand it to some level. This is why he doesn't really want to talk about his weapon. Hopefully, we're gonna get it revealed at some point. But he's there trying to do two things, either, or at least he's lying to himself, still being a bit in denial, saying he wants to find a reason to not give up his dream, or maybe to even give up his dream, especially after seeing Isagi's goal. Now, Isagi tried to push him a bit, saying keep fighting, be prepared for everything, but he overstepped there, which it came from a good place, but Chigiri is not really in the good mental place to, especially to listen to somebody even telling Isagi, you don't know anything about me, which is very true. They barely know each other, they barely know anything about each other, but I feel like they're gonna get along very well with a few more interactions between them. We had Kunigami being the one that started the relationship, but this one is not gonna be as easy for Isagi. But I feel like Chigiri is gonna be a very important character moving forward with the series, especially him with Isagi. I'm curious, maybe he has something that complements Isagi's power, if he knew about it, or he had something similar, because he was able to deduce it quite easily after seeing it a few times, not just this moment with the goal. So yeah, I'm gonna keep my eyes out on Chigiri. Now, after that, we finally see Henry, and I really like Henry quite a lot, and Ego, especially Ego. I like characters like Ego. Just give me all of the egoist characters all the time. And you see Ego just indulging with food, his ramen there, Henry doing the cleaning, everything, the chores. Him, I don't have to do anything. In my contract is only soccer or football. If somebody else can do it, I don't have to do it. So he's the pure definition of being an egoist. I like you, Ego. Now, he says that the Blue Lock is going very well, sort of like a discussion with him and Andre, and he has something to spice things up. Now, we have the others and Isagi training, but Isagi still has this complex about, still sees himself not as good as the others. Everybody else is better than him, trying to figure out how to use this newly discovered weapon, how to deal with it. He puts himself down and even blames himself for what happened with Chigiri, and just wants to do more there. Now, before he can sort out his thoughts, there we have Ego showing up with the results of all the teams there. Now, it's not looking good yet again, because if they don't, they have to win against Team W, so we're probably gonna have a match again pretty soon. I'm curious how powerful, what kind of team is Team W. It's gonna get more and more powerful opponents, so I feel this is the ramp up spot for the series. And not just that, the thing that Ego wanted to use, which I liked quite a lot, new player rankings, especially for Team Z. And Isagi is the top player in Team Z, so number one, being 265, but the top ranked player in Team Z. Of course, Raichi didn't like it. What's new? Raichi doesn't like anything that is not about him, and even commenting them, telling, hey, finding your weapon is the first step. Now you have to polish it, make it stand out, even bringing Messi. I really like how they're bringing actual real life football players into the anime. Of course, exaggerated with their powers and things like that. Saying that Messi's dribbling and his footwork being his weapon. But what I liked is telling them, don't copy. Do not copy. That's very important. Everybody is different. You have your own weapons and your own way of using them, and this is what you have to do. Polish it, work on it. And this is where Isagi has to figure out his weapon, but he decides to first polish his physique, stamina, endurance, speed, and things like that. Now we see him trying to do more training on his own. But this was also one of my favorite moments in the episode, with you see the team literally revolving around him while he was training. You see everybody going there trying to do the same thing. Bachira, Kunigami, there even Kunigami saying, I'm not gonna let myself lose, and Bachira putting it into words. Team Z revolves around you now, Isagi. You are the one, at least here, which I liked quite a lot. But I hope he's not gonna go to Isagi's head, because while he has this amazing weapon, he still has a long way ahead of him, which is probably not gonna go, but I've seen it one too many times to nothing is gonna happen at least one time there. But what I'm curious about is Ego. We've seen him during that moment, the crazy look he had in his eyes when he witnessed what Isagi did. And this is where he used his spice thing, so to say, to push the others, to create some rivalries, to push them further, give them a goal, something to chase, something to work for. Competition is very good, especially in a place like this where football is most intense in his own world. So yeah, this was probably the most important episode we have had in the series, the most hyped one, and I'm still I'm gonna go down also back to being tired after sharing my thoughts here on the episode. Is gonna hit you again just like the episode. But yeah, overall I really liked this one. That moment right after the goal was probably the most important in the season, and I'm curious what kind of a monster we're gonna have with Isagi. And again, anime onlys, please let me know down in the comments below what did you think about the episode, and especially that moment there. And for you source material readers or manga readers, did they do justice to the adaptation? How is it so far, and especially that moment? So as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Blue Lock, because I sure am, and I can't wait for next episode. See you on the next one. Bye bye.